welcome back to the actual play for the Dynamic Campaign of the Dragon's Concord. My name is Ron Power. I am your third storyteller in this series. Let's go around the room and have everybody introduce themselves.
Mike Bernal. I'm one of the storytellers here. I am playing Scrimp McCrappa, Goblin Artificer.
What?
Goblin Artificer.
I have missed so much.
Yeah.
I'm Nicholas Yost. I'm one of the storytellers here at the Dragon's Concord, and today I'm going to be playing Elohim Hearthkeeper.
We'll be taking your calls all night.
Yes.
Playing smooth jazz.
My name is Sean. I am also one of the storytellers here at the Dragon's Concord, and I will be playing Gaius Gnaeus Quintius Aurelius.
I'm Chris Bungie. I'm one of the storytellers here at the Dragon's Concord. I'll be playing Grim Tusk. Just a sorcerer. Rogue.
Awesome. All right. And we are missing Nathaniel today, but he will be back next time, hopefully, and we can have his wonderful 3-green puck back in fold, but we'll be without him today, unfortunately. To begin the session, why don't we do a little recap? And I think, Nick, you were going to take a spin at summarizing what happened last time.
In the smoky city of Pragia, where our story takes place, a group of unlikely detectives find themselves besieged by the wailing cries of one of Pragia's aristocracy. Hoping to find out information and resolve a conflict of a group of sorcerers currently imprisoned within the Sanctum Sanctorum here within the mage city of Pragia. We made our way into the upper towers of the necromancy tower of college school.
You were doing so well.
The Doom Tower. It's called the friggin' Doom Tower. It is called the Doom Tower.
The whole name was written above the front door. They had to keep tacking on more letters. We couldn't spell it.
Where the Sanctum Sanctorum is held. We interviewed a couple of the prisoners there, mainly the teleporting four, who have been hopping in and out of school every night. We've gained some information, some clues, but we last left off where we were being assisted by Advocate Marius to go and speak to the warden.
Excellent, yes. So, as you make your way back up through from the third floor of this 5-floor stack within the tower that makes up the sanctum, to the first floor where the warden's office is, we're going to cut to just outside of the warden's office, where a lone figure sits in a chair waiting for his turn to see the warden. Gaius, if you want to introduce yourself real quick.
So, you see you expect elves to be pale, but he has almost a grayish cast, not a sickly cast, but just a grayish hint to his skin. As he looks around, you can almost see actual glints of light in his eyes as he just flips through a book. Very nice clothing, very elegant and just pristine and prime and everything, with his lovely little reading glasses he has on at all times. Just flip them through. Oh, yes. Doesn't have terribly too much on him. A sidearm, small bag, and just really nice, elegant clothes. You're not sure if he's here to take classes or to do some sort of go down the checklist. Is everything here done properly?
Wait, you get gear? The rest of you get gear? Y'all suck!
You're still in your brown robes
exactly.
and terrible slippers at this point.
No, I definitely fed that to one of the people during the fight. Definitely shoved that guy's throat.
Yep. Yeah, but guys, so you are here, and you kind of recall the events that led you here. So you were admitted to the Collegium Magi, the Mages College, recently. You're very excited about that. Unfortunately, the problem is you don't quite have enough money for the tuition. It can be quite expensive. So they have given you a little bit of opportunity to work your way through school by assisting the warden as an orderly, doing small duties for him from time to time, assisting him in whatever he needs, basically. You are meeting him for the first time today, and in fact, you are about to go in to see him. Well, suddenly you hear a bit of a ruckus coming from the entrance lobby where you first came in through the teleportation portal that led you to this part of the tower. tower. You hear someone kind of saying, yes, I understand that, but the insect man makes everybody uncomfortable. The inmates keep getting riled up when he speaks inside of their head. They see him and they get very scared. We're going to have to ask him to leave the tower for now. He cannot be here. He gets them too upset.
At this point, I'd be like,
Yeah.
this is more interesting than this book I've read 19 times. And I shall walk on over.
Yeah, you see a group of four motley individuals speaking to the nurse at sort of the admittance station. That's just sort of the main lobby when you first come in. There's a halfling who seems to be sort of leading the group. He looks very professional in sort of a very fine silk shirt and high boots and trousers. And he's but. Madame, you have to understand that I've hired these investigators to help me with my case, and the insectoid person is part of their troop. And the insectoid person seems to be sort of like scanning everybody very quietly, and then suddenly you hear in your head, as does everybody in the room apparently, because they all kind of react at the same time. If it makes things better, I will happily step outside and wait for you down at the bottom of the tower.
That'll be fine, Pock. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I thought a more educated place would be a little bit more open-minded.
Super racist.
You do appear to be a bit racist.
It's not racism. It's a matter of practicality. The inmates get very, very upset. But anyway,
Kip, does he have a name?
his name is Puck.
And you've been referred to him as Insect Man.
Well,
That's a bit racist, you know.
Look, I have a very hard job.
Are we all a bit racist?
I can't be bothered to remember every single person's name who comes in here. I don't even remember your name.
Very well. Hurtful. Gaius. Gaius Guneus Quintius Aurelius.
I'm never going to remember all that.
You were at my birthday party. This hurts.
I'm sure you've heard of me at some point.
Yeah, when you walked in the door, I heard of you.
People in their ivory towers.
Um,
Racist people in their ivory
This
towers.
one's made out of black obsidian.
At that point,
Do you refer to the other one as the Goblin Child?
I do.
Not a child, I'm just small.
Oh, I know, but they're all being racist today, apparently.
Apparently.
At that point, you hear a door open back to the warden's office, and someone's like, "I thought I had an appointment. Where is everybody?" And the nurse says, "Okay, go. Here. Don't bother me. Go bother the warden."
Tip my hat, and we're gonna.
Okay. Marius also leads his troop of individuals with you. That way, the warden goes, "Oh yeah, I guess I got two. I booked 2 appointments at once. All right, everybody in. We'll just talk to you all together." And so he waves everybody into his office. You come into a very posh-looking room with oak paneling all over the walls, a giant dark stained wooden desk, very fine furniture, a little liquor cabinet in the back corner, just sort of a little ostentatious, to be honest, considering all the shenanigans you've seen out in the rest of the asylum so far.
As soon as we walk in, I'll notice the desk and be like, "That's a very fine desk. This mahogany."
I believe it's actually what's this called? Rosewood desk. I believe. Yes.
It's a very fine desk. You have a good,
My
excellent
arse is a
choice.
little twitchy. That's prime arson target right there.
Prime arson.
I've never seen a more arsonable target.
Sweating.
Oh, I bet that burns real good. That could keep a family of 12 warm for an overnight.
For the rest of their lives.
The warden sits on his side of the desk, and there's really only one seat on the other side of the desk, and so Marius the halfling kind of hops into that seat kind of by default. He kind of rubs his bleary-looking eyes and says, "Warden, I couldn't possibly trouble you for a drink, could I?" And the warden says, Of course. He wanders over to the liquor cabinet, opens it up, and pours what looks to be some very fine-looking spirits into a couple of glasses.
I'll step over to him, pass the glass to the halfling, take the bottle, and just retire with it.
Very well, whatever. As long as I have have my old glasses.
This is pretty lax.
And he pours himself something from like a clear bottle.
Everclear.
Yeah. I was thinking vodka, but Everclear works too. Yeah.
Gasoline.
All the odds would be that smells like turpentine.
That's gonna be part of the arsenal.
Take that bottle too.
Oh my god, it's paint cleaner. You could run a fucking jet off of that shit.
So Marius, what do I owe the pleasure today? And Marius goes, Warden, I'm here to talk to you about this individual, Grim Tusk, who is being held here.
Upstanding citizen.
Yes, a fine, upstanding citizen who's being held here on false pretenses. This is obviously a case of mistaken identity. I have some. First off, he has an alibi. He was nowhere near the crime scene when the robbery took place. The warden says. What do you have? Some proof of this, Mr. Grim Tusk? Do you? What is the alibi that he speaks of?
Hold on. I remember we talked about this last session.
So,
what did I name the bar? I can't remember the bar.
No, sorry, Bracken. Bracken was his name.
Bracken was the name of the contact. What did I name the bar?
The bar is the Seeping Pit.
Yeah, of course.
Amazing.
I was getting shit-faced, the Seeping Pit.
Pardon.
Cheers.
Pardon me, if I may, for a moment. Do you have a defender? To making him represent himself here?
That's what I'm here. The halfling looks. I'm his advocate on this matter.
I answer to a higher power. She's got my back.
Oh, good. I'll do that.
May I continue, if it please? The warden. First off, I have some documents here from an eyewitness that places him at the robbery. It seems as if the eyewitness made no mention whatsoever of my client here's numerous tattoos that are very obvious. It seems very interesting that detail would be missing from the report, as it is something that makes him, that distinguishes him from, other individuals. And he kind of looks at the report and goes, yes, but that does not necessarily exonerate him.
Was the eyewitness Benny?
Benny? Yes, it does appear to be a Benny.
He's a little shit, in my defense.
How do you know this Benny?
We've run into each other occasionally.
Yeah? Do you have, so you have a prior history.
So does he.
Oh. Not a
Reliable
record,
witness.
a history, but now you tell me you both have records? Is that the case? Did you know this, Marius?
Something, can't I?
Let's go to the 5th.
That's 5th. Yes, that one.
Mary says, yes, Warden, it's really neither here nor there. It doesn't relate to this particular case. Regardless, I think I can prove, right here, if you take a look at Benny's testimony, he reports that the half-orc he saw had a scar under his left eye, whereas my client does not have such a scar. And the warden takes a look and says, all right, I get it, Marius. This is obviously, we've gotten the wrong half-orc. I'm going to go ahead and release him under your recognizance, but I expect you to produce if possible, a writ and the proper paperwork to show that you've got the wrong guy. And honestly, Mr. Grim Tusk,
yes,
I would suggest that you work and endeavor to find whoever actually did do this, so that you can be completely exonerated.
Oh, I can guarantee that.
All right, very well.
Alive.
He did not stipulate.
I'm recommending alive.
Hey, you're supposed to be my orderly, aren't you?
Aye.
All right, Gaius, correct? All right, just making sure. I know we're doing two things at once here. Apologize for that.
Oh, I enjoy being in legal cases. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. Perhaps you could be of some assistance here. The investigators are looking into the disappearance of some of our inmates who have been every night disappearing from their cells.
You've misplaced them. Have you looked under the carpet?
They misplaced themselves. We don't have a problem relocating them. Every single morning they reappear at the same location separately across the city. They don't seem to have any. They don't seem to want to flee. They just reappear, and we take them back. And every night they go missing again, and then they reappear, and we take them back, and the cycle continues.
So why keep putting them back away? If they don't keep getting out, why put them back away at all?
Well, they could be a danger to people. They are wizards who have uncontrollable powers and issues of mental instability. Is a It is a matter of public safety. We need to solve why this is happening and put a stop to it, is the honest truth. If these investigators could be of an aid to that, I am all for having them help us solve this particular mystery.
How long has this been going on exactly?
This has been going on for 6 days.
6 days? So
Yes.
this has happened 6 times and no one has been put at these individual cells to see how they're getting out?
We have put guards in front of their cells every night. Every night, the guards report that they have no knowledge of what happened. They have no memory of them going disappearing. They have a blank spot in their memory, and when they go back to take a look at the cells are empty. We put different guards in their place every single night to make sure that it's not just one guard who's aiding them in some manner.
You tried nailing their feet down.
That seems a bit extreme. We want to help these people as opposed to causing them more distress.
Just saying it's an option.
If you want to help us help them,
Option D.
you could set us up an appointment with Dr. Kamina.
What does Dr. Kamina have to do with this?
We believe that they may have access to information regarding the disappearances.
I find that highly unlikely. Dr. Kamina is a respected individual in this hospital.
Insight.
Go ahead and roll it.
Oh yeah, that's what we'd like to see.
Oh, that's the good stuff right there.
What you got?
25.
Okay. Did you roll as well, guys?
You beat it.
Okay, that's fine. Was it 20?
I was too busy getting drunk on this guy's album.
Yeah, that's fair.
I am filled with a righteous rage, and I'm just barely able to not
You're
yell
like
at
white
these people.
knuckling it on the desk.
Yeah,
as it's
yeah.
on.
How fucking dare you hold my brother here!
You find a glass in
Mark
front of
2,
you
kill him!
as I pour out some for you.
All right, with a 25. Do you want to do whispers, or is it okay? Should I just tell everybody?
Would you prefer whispers?
I think in this case, whispers would be good.
Do we want to step outside?
Yeah, let's just step outside for a moment.
They just asked the DM to step outside. They're gonna fight.
Why don't you take a step outside?
We'll just take a step outside.
Insert sounds of punching noises here.
That's your own note for that.
That's exactly what that is, because here they are again. So, half-orc
Yes.
and goblin, and
Dragonborn.
got it. Okay,
Not a human to be found amongst us.
Not one.
that explains why all of them are so racist.
Yep. Well, I also look like the last half-orc you ever want to run into in a dark alley.
You want to commit arson?
It would be the last half-orc I ran into in a dark alley.
Would have committed some arson.
You know, a person weighing 210 pounds can burn for 4 hours.
Depends how much you're ring them out first.
The warden looks at Mary and says, Mary, your investigators, they have spoken to everybody they need to speak to already, or... And Mary's kind of turns around to you all and says, Did you have a chance to talk to all of the inmates yet?
We were hoping that we'd be able to...
Yeah, I talked to him.
Oh, yes, I heard about your little escapade down in the common room, Mr. Grimtusk. This is the warden speaking. You really ought to keep your nose cleaner if you want to prove to me of your innocence.
I didn't do it.
We were hoping to be able to speak with 2 inmates. One Iara and one Snark.
Ah, yes, I believe they should be down on the 3rd floor somewhere.
We had been invited down to the 3rd floor and noticed that their cells were empty. It seems like some of the other inmates had been talking about them being held at a deeper floor.
He takes, that doesn't sound right. He pulls out some files. He's got files. It looks like he's got files on each of these individuals. And he pulls out specifically the ones on Snark and Yara, and he starts thumbing through. No, I see they still have their solitary residences on the 3rd floor, the north east wing. Is that where you saw? Is that where you were looking for them?
Yes, within their own cells, the ones that were preordained with various items of their belonging.
Well, while the third floor is a bit more restricted than the first or second floors, we still do allow the inmates a certain amount of freedom to move around. You might go back and just double check they aren't in the common room or the dining hall or something along those lines.
We can double check.
Gaius, I would hate to think that we've misplaced these prisoners even worse than they do every night. I want you to go with these individuals and help them find the two missing individuals, if you would.
Oh, of course. But a question first, if I may.
Yes.
A request. Seeing as it would be tedious to go and come back for the keys and the access and all sorts of things, if we could just have the whole key roll with us to make it easier to get into wherever we need, and just perhaps a pass to say that we're allowed to be wherever we wish to go. Clearly, it is in our best interests to facilitate the investigation. The longer we take to do this, the longer it'll take to do this whole thing. 26 diplomacy? Persuasion?
Persuasion. He looks at you and says, well, usually there's a training period before we give out keys.
We've lost men for 6 nights in a row. Clearly, we don't have time. You know what? I think we can all agree, if we all sit around for the 9 to 12 weeks of the training, and this 9 to 12 weeks, say, we'll do pretty quick, so 10 weeks, that's going to be 70 days of people getting out. How many people are getting lost each night?
4.
So 70 times 4, I'm not good at the math, so let's do the math on that, but that sounds like a lot of people getting out. 280 people getting out. So, you know what? Let's wait for the 280 people to get out, and we'll do the training. I agree with that totally.
I'm not saying that, but... Marius, I'll give you the keys. You can hold on to them. He takes a key ring and he pulls one specific key off of it. This key will get you down to any of the stairwells down to the 3rd floor, but that's it. You cannot go lower. And he hands Marius that key.
Why can we not go down to any lower floor?
The lower floors are restricted even to the public, even to some members of the staff. It's a matter of security. Some of those inmates are very, very dangerous.
Dr. Kamina's doing a lot of fucked
We
up
have
shit.
protection.
There's
I'm gonna
dangerous.
smile real big.
There's dangerous with your fists and your muscles, and then there's dangerous if they got out from the anti-magic wards that protect us within this sanctum. They could burn this entire tower down. That's the sort of danger we're talking about.
Are you saying that your wards are not strong enough to keep them in?
Of course not. Our wards are very strong, but there is a protocol, and I cannot break that protocol for anyone. Certainly not a new hire that I've just met.
You do ask us to go investigating for the missing men. For all we know, they go down to the 4th floor or 5th floor.
If you have need to go down to the 4th or 5th floor, certainly not the 5th floor is off limits. You cannot go down to the 5th floor.
We're on the 5th floor.
That is Dr. Komina's lab. She has asked for very strict, only those members who must go down to the 5th floor because the inmates are very, very fragile. They're in a very fragile state of their rehabilitation. And they cannot be disturbed by comings and goings. They should have nothing to do with whatever's going on the 3rd floor. I must put my foot down on this matter.
They also should have nothing to do with getting out of your wards.
I put my hand on his shoulder and said, "Thank you, Warden. It is very generous for your help thus far."
As our very large, very scaly friend recommends, very well.
Marius, this is the pass and the keys to the 3rd floor and above. Marius, thank you, Warden. And he takes the key. Yes.
Well, I am a bit offended. We are your guests here and we're doing a service and we didn't get a drink.
I believe Marius got a drink. You are not a guest. You are from what I understand, you're a new hire here in my...
I use them all of our royalty.
Last time I checked, I own you.
Last time I checked, I don't pay you.
Plus, what happened to the decanter that the half-orc took? I thought you were passing them out.
I don't know what happened.
He's not an employee of
It's a
yours.
mystery. Maybe it vanished along with your prisoners.
It has been known to things
yeah,
are
it's
missing
gone.
around here.
He shakes his head.
At least a drink for them.
Very well. He turns around to go get a drink from the cabinet again.
I'm fine, thank you.
Anything for you, little fellow?
I like to stay sharp on the
Fair
job.
And no drinking on the job, so nothing for you, sir.
So I'm getting paid for this.
Of
Fantastic.
course, it's going towards your tuition.
Getting double time from this, yes.
I don't know about double time.
This was not in my contract. It was nowhere there was to be hired to go
Thank
guide
you,
people
Warden.
around.
I turn around and step out of the office.
The favors I do for the university. Very well, go. I'm busy. I don't have any more time for this. And Marius he hops off the chair and starts leading you guys out the door.
I lean down towards Skirp once we get out. The warden isn't in the loop.
No, he seems like he doesn't really know anything that's going on.
Seems like Dr. Kamina is keeping this close to her chest.
We gotta get down there.
How good are you all at breaking and entering?
Very.
Fantastic.
Bit of a passion of mine.
I thought it was
Terrifying,
arson.
but
Can we
fantastic.
burn our way in?
Possibly not, but I mean, I'm sure we could.
I'll look
try.
over at Marius. So
Mary, I don't know. Mary's like, whatever you're talking about, la la la. I don't want to hear that part, la 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 la.
I just
plausible deniability, blah blah. Blah.
I look down at Marius and I go, so, I know you have an unblemished reputation.
Yes.
I just outstretch my hand for the key.
Fine. And he'd be actually make a persuasion check for me. How about that?
You want this done right or not?
Are you helping me? A flat 10.
Flat 10. No, I know we yes, go ahead.
28. I understand handing it to a member that's assisting you, but I am on staff. If it is of a concern, it can be entrusted into my care.
That's actually fair. Yes. We'll give it to you, and if anything goes wrong, I'm blaming you.
Of course.
Yeah, fair enough.
Of
Here,
course.
he sort of just like surreptitiously slides it in your hand. But follow me. The third floor shouldn't be a problem anyway. And so you guys head down the main. This time you don't have to go around that back way that you guys went the last time. You just head down those main stairs that's in the lobby. They just kind of go. They switch back and forth from the first to the second to the third floor. You find yourself back in that same waiting area where the nurse was that you and Pock had sort of intimidated your way past. Marius kind of nods at her. She just kind of rolls her eyes and just gives sort of like a go ahead signal to you guys to walk through where you prefer. There is the you could go back down to where their cells are. The common room seems to be like off to the left. That's where they are in all the other floors, and so you could just sort of the floor plans are fairly similar among the various floors. So you know where the common room, the dining halls, the laundry rooms, those kinds of things are all located because you've been there already.
When we're walking down the stairs, I want to take the key that I was palmed and press it into a lump of clay and then hand the clay off and hand the key back.
Sounds good.
This is not my first breaking and entering. Especially for a valuable place like the Sanctum Sanctorum.
I think that's Dr. Strange. This is just called the Sanctum, or it's called the Belfry.
The Belfry.
By locals. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'd like to take a look for Yara and Snark.
Yeah.
In the area.
Why don't you make a perception roll? As you're just kind of scanning for them.
Are we all making these?
Yeah, if anybody who wants to can make. In fact, I think, well, it depends. If you're searching for them, like if you're going around searching for them, it would be more of an investigation.
I will,
if you're,
mine would be more.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm doing more of an investigation as well.
25.
11.
25 is a pretty good roll. So your thought is, well, they weren't in their rooms, but maybe it's worth checking one more time. Maybe they went back in the time that you left and came back. So you head down that same corridor that heads to their little cells that are like sort of opposite each other down this hallway. You see that there's a long... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Has the lawyer left?
No, he's still trailing around behind you guys a little bit. I think at this point he does say, you know what, you guys do your thing. I'm going to go do a little bit of paperwork for Mr. Grimtusk here, just so
Much
that he's...
obliged.
Yes, you should be able... the warden indicated that it's mistaken identity, you're free to go. I'll just get the affidavit signed for you.
Can I have my things back?
That is the plan.
We'll meet you back at your office.
So I'll have the affidavits and the signed paperwork at the nurse's station on the first floor, and then back to my office is fine.
Hopefully we'll come back with good news.
Sounds good. And he kind of gives you guys a.
Ignore any smoke you smell.
I don't know if I can do that, but
Just say that as I walk away.
Once he leaves.
Yep.
So what have you found out?
Well, you seem very nosy for a new hire.
Of course. At first,
You're the intern.
Yeah. What's
I
your
say like
angle?
I've been here the entire time.
What's your angle?
Well, there's a danger around. Try and keep people safe.
Don't know how much I believe that.
Believe it or not, I'm here to help you. I don't want people getting out and running around and doing all kinds of problems and things.
Well, as noble as your goals may seem, we are in it for a bit of money.
Very well.
I'm on a mission from God.
Yes, he is
Very
the
well.
divine holy soldier.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Did I hear right? You're doing this for tuition?
Yeah,
So you
more or
were
less.
you're a student here?
At some point, we'll be a student here, yes, if all goes well.
And so you're intern.
More or less.
How long you been working for the warden? Not long, seems.
Today's literally
So
our
like I'm
first day.
behind him and just making like a stabbing motion. Like, what's the vibe here?
Yeah, there's like a lot of.
Oh God.
So you guys are kind of walking and talking. And by the way,
Yeah.
so you headed down towards those cells again. As you get back towards Yara and Snark's cells, with that roll that you made, you do notice the laundry room door is just the slightest bit ajar at
Just
the
like
end of the hallway.
I like indicate the engine. Like, was that open before?
That wasn't. Just walk over.
Okay. Push the laundry room door open just a little bit. Look inside. It seems to be, just full of they've got these like canvas sacks full of where people just throw their robes and staff garments and that kind of stuff. They've got a big old wash basin full of, right now it's full of just sudsy water that people kind of half thrown some laundry in and then abandoned it for whatever reason. Make another investigation check for me.
Investigation or perception?
If you are actively searching around, it's investigation. If you're just sort of letting like your senses sort of take over, it's perception. I'll allow either.
15. Visual perception?
Yeah.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
22.
I'm looking through I'm looking through the washing bins right now.
Okay.
I'm just like trying to like prod the bags to
Yep.
see if like they're laundry or if there's like
Take off my
escape.
jacket, roll up my undersleeves, and just
Just reach into the water.
yeah.
You find a lot of laundry, but that's all you find at this moment.
23.
23. So you and Scrimp both kind of notice this around the same time. There's a like a grate that looks like it's just sort of like a ventilation sort of grate sort of thing that's obviously been tampered with. Like it's like been pulled off its axis a little bit and it's like kind of tilted. Like there's some open space there.
Can I go back to Snark's room and check to see if that tool has been moved?
Yeah, if you go take a look, and yes, it seems to have, it's actually gone missing at this point.
I like this is like a big smile because I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, good. I'll like go back to the grate and be like, I think he used the tools to open this guy up.
As you kind of peek in there a little bit, you see it doesn't go very far. It just leads straight in from, like, there's this little wall space, like about this wide, just goes straight into another room. You look and you see a darkened room. It's hard to tell. It's not very big, but yeah, there's two figures in there just kind of sitting. And you hear just muffled through the wall. They're like, and now you go. Okay. It's my turn. And you're just kind of having this little conversation back and forth to each other.
I'm gonna close the door to the laundry room and
Okay.
walk us inside of it.
Okay.
What's it called? I'm going to infuse just like this coin that I got with just like, I caught you, you dumb fuck. and I just like roll it into the room. And just like, I caught you, you dumb fuck.
You hear it echo from the other room, and then you just hear this, Scrimp?
And I'm like, Snark!
Scrimp, is that you?
Yeah. And I'll like squirm through the thing, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, I just like give him the biggest hug. And
Yeah,
I just, like,
he jumps up.
"Okay."
So he was sitting on the floor with this other young woman
Uh-huh.
sitting across from him. They had like all these little. It was a bunch of like more buttons and like baubles and that kind of stuff spread out on the floor in some arrangement. But he jumps up and like scatters all of them. And she goes, "Oh no! The knights have been thrown off their horses." And then like, but he jumps up and gives you the biggest hug and he embraces. Scrimp, I never thought I'd see you again, buddy.
Oh God! We had no idea where you've been this whole time.
Really? They didn't tell you?
No, we've been trying to like talk to the administration about if there was like some kind of accident, if there was some kind of field trip that you never come back from. But then they just said that you could not be found.
Oh my God! I thought, I can't believe it. They told me, that you just didn't care anymore. That I was here because you didn't give a crap about me. That's not true, is it?
No, of course not.
Oh my God!
Hey, we got a
I
friend
don't give a
that'll
crap
help
about
us.
you.
We got a friend out here
Wow.
that can help us burn this entire place down.
Well,
In for it.
maybe so, but we should. There's a lot of good people here. First, we need to help them. Like, for example, my friend Yara here. She's very sweet. Yara, honey, meet my brother. This is a Scrimp, and Yara kind of like daintily. It's just this very thin, pretty young woman. She actually looks a lot like Yulia, the woman who hired you, but she's just more dainty, kind of very shy. She covers like her one side of her face over with like hair to sort of like, and just kind of like doesn't want to make eye contact with you guys too much, and goes, "But Lord Goodfellow, we were in the middle of tea, and as Princess Zephyra, I must insist that we continue on with the tea party." And Snark says, "One minute, Princess Zephyra. This is Lord Goodfellow's famous brother, Sir Scrimp, and he's here to have tea with us." And she goes, "Oh, lovely. And what about his retainers? Are they here to have tea with us too?"
Are we still on the outside of the grate here?
I guess so. If anybody who came in, she's kind of referring to
I would have probably come in case it was like, "Oh my God, it's my brother! I'm getting stabbed."
It sounded like Grim and the rest came in as well. So.
As long as we
I'll
can
just shout
Yeah.
things. Yeah, I'll come in.
if we can fit.
Yeah, everybody can.
So like I have a moment of like seeing the young girl and knowing what I look like.
Yeah.
I'm not going to approach any closer.
Okay. She
So
just
I'm
kind of
actually
like...
going to make myself look as small as I can.
Okay. She does kind of give like a little peek at you from behind the hair, and then she does quickly kind of look away. But at the moment, the fact that like it seems like Snark is kind of like definitely helping with the situation, like explaining things in terms that she can understand, that like that these sort of people are here to help. You know,
Elohim just gets like a very sad look on his face. He just goes, "Seneschal and Oham of the Northern Kingdoms." He takes off his hat and
Seneschal, we welcome you to the land of Londra Ra'um.
I've heard much. All good things, of course.
Yes, it is a magical place. And you are?
I will take a knee. Milady, my name is Gaius, Vanguard of the Heroes.
Oh, wonderful. And is this one of your heroes here?
He is indeed.
Oh, wonderful. You seem like a strong knight.
Yes.
I'm so pleased to
At
have
your
you.
service.
And she kind of just folds back down, cross-legged on the floor, and goes back to like rearranging her the buttons and the thimbles and all the little doodads back into a very precise order that they got scattered.
Is she making it into the same symbol
Yeah,
as other ones?
that's-
Make a insight check, and you can use intelligence instead of wisdom if you prefer.
Yeah, it's the same. 16.
16. Different
21.
pattern here. Go ahead.
21.
21. I think you just noticed it's a different pattern. You can sort of start to, now that you know like kind of her code a little bit.
Oh, sorry. It's a shoot.
That's okay.
Because I had a provision. So it's
8 million.
yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to. Okay. Oh, it's 18. Sorry.
18. Okay. It's a little less, but that's all right. I think both of you have, you guys have deciphered the code that she uses for these little doodads to like make messages out of. It's not the elemental chart this time. This seems to be she's sort of like I guess spelling out like like organizational sort of things. Like she's organized things into groups of 4, and then those groups of 4 seem to make up bigger groups, and those groups of 8, and then the groups of 8 make up groups of 16. It's like some sort of exponential growth pattern that's going on here. You're not sure what it correlates to, but there's some sort of pattern going on here. Maybe you could talk to her about it and figure out what's going on.
Princess, I like you.
Princess Zephyra? Yes.
Zephyra?
Yes.
Princess Zephyra, I like what you're doing here. Is this the seating chart for your tea party or something?
Oh, no. These are the bad men. These are the evil wizards.
Evil wizards?
Yes, they've come to attack our land, our peaceful land. Snark kind of leans over to you and says, Yeah, she kind of does this from time to time. It's a thing. It relates to the college, kinda. It's Do you know about the cabals and the cadres by chance? I know you weren't in the university. Have you ever heard of that before?
No, it's just like some kind of skull and bones secret society.
No, it's nothing like that. But it's how the when the wizards go to war, and they built these huge war wagons, right?
Wagons,
yeah. That's what they had me working on, by the way. Which was
Okay.
terrible. That's why I'm here, to be honest. I'll talk more about that later, I guess. But the thing is, there's a basic unit of wizards is called a quadrant. It's made up of 4 wizards, right? And so you have 2 quadrants make up an octave, which is 8. So you have a cabal and you have a cadre. The cabal is made up of a conjurer, a diviner, an abjurer, and an evoker. And then a cadre is made up of a illusionist, an enchanter, a necromancer, and a transmuter. And then put those all together, it makes up the octave, and that's like the basic unit of the war wizards, right? Gotcha. Then you have, then they stack on top and over again to form the army, basically.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway, so she's sort of building those cabals and cadres together to form the evil legions that we're fighting in our little make-believe land here.
Okay.
How'd you find this place?
Oh, actually, she found it. She's real good at finding nooks and crannies, believe me. But she likes to be left alone. But she has a few friends, and I'm definitely one of her best friends, and she's one of mine. So, we like to come here because it's kind of an escape from the terribleness that's out in there with the others, But I try to
Have I ever punched Scrimp?
What's that?
With Snark?
Have you ever
gotten in a fight with Snark?
I don't understand.
Have I ever gotten in a fight with Snark?
Oh, have you
before?
ever gotten? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a goblin.
Yeah, well, I'm
And you're a half-orc. I don't know if that matters.
so I'm saying we might have been adjacent in
Sure.
a fight. I probably didn't go after the guy.
Yeah, that's
Can you cast
possible.
a spell in here?
Actually, let me see multi-tool real quick.
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Were you the one who pulled that out from under my bed?
Yeah. I was like-
I should have known. That's hilarious. He gives it to you.
and then I will try to.
He kind of in fact, when he gives it to you, he kind of tosses it to you kind of like a hot potato real quick. He grabs it off the floor and just instantly kind of tosses it to you. Like he didn't really want to touch it that much.
I'm gonna try to. Is there like a window in the room at all?
No, that's the funny thing. This little, it's like they seem to have found kind of a little secret cubby that's just has no entrances, exits, windows whatsoever. It's just there for ventilation. Maybe it was intended to be a some sort of storeroom and never got finished or completed. But it's just she found the one place that she could hide and never but she could go away to get away from people.
I will attempt to use the his artificer tool as a spell focus, and I will try to cast detect magic.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh boy. Con save. That's a 22.
Still not quite enough, I'm afraid. So, especially down here on the 3rd level,
Yeah.
it just gets tougher and tougher to sort of like cast magic.
But we're still within the anti
Yeah.
magic.
Now
Yeah,
you
let's
felt
say
just
we're
like a
still in
tingle,
it.
like
Yeah.
you that taste of like ozone on your tongue was
Okay.
right there, but it just can't get it to form.
Yeah, I don't think we can cast magic still.
It's just
Even
an
in the
idea.
laundry room. Yeah. I hand it back.
Yeah, the magic just does not work here. I've seen a couple of people every once in a while like flick off some sort of little cantrip, and the guards get real upset when that happens. But when that happens, they usually move you down the floor, basically.
Mom and Pops, I mean, they're not actively looking for you anymore. They assume that you were part of some kind of cover-up, and so they say their prayers, stuff like that. But like, I've been looking for you the entire time. That's how I met Elheim right here. So we both kind of have like a little bit of an axe to grind with the college, and we've been picking apart at the case, so to speak, over the last couple of years. We got hired recently by Princess Zephyr's sister.
Oh yeah, okay, yes.
That's why we came here today, and we were told some things about some wizards and spellcasters going missing, and apparently you're one of them.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna deny that I had a little bit of a mental breakdown while I was at school. The thing was, they had me working, like I said, on these war wagons, man. Like nothing but my talent with artifice, and how we used to work at the scrapyard on fun projects, and we were making little automatons and things like that, and clockworks. That was so fun. I used to love that stuff so much.
Yeah.
That's what I joined the college to do, and they had me doing nothing but putting together these giant freaking weapons. Nothing but war and violence and ways to kill people. And I told them, this is not what I want to do. But they said I was one of the most talented artificers they had, and this was the project that I had to work on because I was being fast-tracked to like lead the engineers of the college. And I told them that's not what I signed up to do, and I was getting real sad, Like, it just made me feel worse and worse every day that I had to go work on these things.
Can I ask
to
you
the point I didn't want to do them no more. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I don't mean to put my problems on you and
No,
your
that's
friends.
why we're here, though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out this case. When you were working, or while you've been interned here, have you ever met an individual by the name of Dr. Komina?
I've heard of her. She's the one that supposedly rehabilitates you down on the lowest levels. That's no secret. The rumors going around that you go down there and you don't come back. But honestly, I think some of those might be overstated a bit. I'm not saying she's the greatest, but I'm also saying that I don't think they could get away with just like killing people down there. I think what's happening is they are letting some people, they are taking some people down there and they just languish, and that's awful. But I think there are people who they supposedly fix and let loose. That's the way I understand it anyway.
But you've never been down to the fifth.
No, I don't want to go because honestly, I think even if I could get fixed, quote unquote, not that I don't. Firstly, I don't think there's anything wrong with me. But second off, if that was the way to get fixed, I'd rather be broken, to be honest, because it sounds like it's a lot of trouble. A lot of like the people they let loose have to go through months of that stuff, and it's not fun from what I hear.
So why are you still here?
Partially because I have friends here now that need looking after, like Yara here. and I want to help them. But partially because even though I don't think I'm crazy, but I do think I have no purpose anymore. I don't want to do artificing. It's like I think about doing even the projects we used to do. I think about doing those, and I can't do it no more. It's been ruined for me. So what am I supposed to do with my life? So I figure I stick around here, and maybe I can figure something out. I didn't know you was even looking for me. I thought you guys they told me you had abandoned me. So why even leave?
I was pretty pissed off before this, and now I am very pissed off. So we gotta do something. I mean, I know we can't.
May I suggest arson?
In a stone building, we may not get far.
It's also just 5 layers of a huge tower. I don't think you may take care of a few floors here. Of the belfry here, but this whole place is corrupt, man. I think we need to break it down from the inside.
Have the guards even come forward towards you about letting you go?
No, as far as I know, they don't. They just. First off, I'm a goblin. They look at me like the dirt of the earth. Princess Zephyra here, honestly, is the only one who treats me like well, not the only one. I got a couple other friends who are pretty nice, but even they, they can be a little condescending from time to time. They don't mean it, but they don't even mean nothing by it. But
they mean something by it. They mean something by it.
And this
Yara, she doesn't care who I am. We're best friends, and I'm gonna stick by her side. Now we got to figure out what's going on with us every night. Why can't I remember? Like why I'm leaving, and then I show up at the scrapyard every damn morning. What's going on there?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Do you have any insight to glean from this disappearing act?
No. I go to sleep, or sometimes I try to stay awake to see what'll happen, and on those nights I just black out. Nothing. I have no clue about what's happening. Then next morning I just kind of come out of it. And I'm there in the scrapyard where we used to play, and I just think, oh boy. Now what they've started doing, at first it was like I would just kind of stay there, and then I kind of found, my way back to the tower.
Why didn't you run? You were out.
Like I said, I couldn't leave. I didn't know. First off, I didn't know Yara was having these problems too, right?
Right.
When I found out she was disappearing too, I couldn't leave her. But the other thing is, then, of course, after it started happening multiple times, they would just have guards, ready there to pick me up.
Look, I can understand your friends. She seems a little bit more fragile than you are.
Yeah, she is, and I want to protect her. But also, she wouldn't hurt nobody, even if she was out there. She's just she's just in her own little world. But it doesn't mean she's dangerous. I know they say, she has, she casts spells and stuff, but she wouldn't do nothing to hurt anybody ever.
Does she know who she is, or is she just
playing? She does.
Okay, so
she's just playing, but
okay.
she likes to play. It takes her mind off of.
Right. Yeah.
She doesn't like to think about who she really is.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't a little worse than what I thought it was.
I can see when you think that, but no.
Right.
I mean, but if you force it on her, she retreats in herself.
Okay.
More.
Who's your doctor?
Yeah.
I'll step around the reunion. Princess Zephyra.
Yes.
Do you mind if I join you?
Not at all, Sir Elohim.
I sit down cross-legged.
You see the wizards here. They are advancing upon our forces.
I do see that. They've assembled quite a force to oppose you.
They have.
But obviously it is powerless against resolve.
Now that we have allies, we will surely win the day.
Of course. How old does she look?
She looks like she's probably early. Maybe not even early. Maybe not even 20. So somewhere between 18 and 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
I look down at the... Has she essentially assembled a mock battlefield?
Not even really so much a battlefield. It's literally these hierarchies of wizards. But they kind of form like a Roman legion almost. It's just like columns of the wizards, like almost how they would fit then in a big wagon like that. You see here, this is called the Cabal, and she kind of goes through the wizards as well. And this is called the Cadre, and she goes through the various things. She even kind of goes through some of the she's getting real deep into the weeds about like how certain schools of magic are continuous, whereas other schools of magic are discrete. Some are static while others are dynamic, and like why they organize them into the two separate little groups and that kind of stuff. That's neither here nor there for you as someone who doesn't cast magic. But she's sort of explaining it all as it was explained to her when she first joined the college.
Yeah, I'm just letting her run herself out because she obviously doesn't seem stupid. Like she's very intelligent.
Yeah, it's exactly. This is all stuff that's sort of taught to wizards as they first enter the university and into the collegium. And so and she goes, and this particular Cabal right here. This is us. This is where we would have been, but we escaped.
Can you explain your escape?
Well, yes, of course. Me and Luca and Snark and Zara, we were going to be a Cabal. But we got out. And so we don't have to be in the bad army anymore. We can fight against them.
Your fast track program that your Cabal was with, they put you all together.
Yes, we were to and Snark kind of goes, yeah, that's what she keeps telling me. I didn't even know this. I mean, I knew Luca and I knew these other Zara and I knew Yara before I came here to the tower, but we were just acquaintances. We never really met or talked or anything before we came here. But according to Yara, she somehow says that she knows we were supposed to be a Cabal together.
Who assembles the Cabals?
That's above my pay grade, but they have professors and teachers, and I think they even have some sort of military structure that it all filters down through. It's a very, very rigid hierarchy.
Do you know who we might be able to ask? Or
you could talk to my old professor. You could talk to Denham, Denham, Professor Denham. He was my professor of abjuration when I was going through the abjuration tower to spy. He probably would have had a little bit more records about where individual students would have been placed, but I don't know. Like I said, they didn't ever tell me. That was always kind of theoretical. We weren't at war or nothing, so we weren't being trained in that way yet.
Are you the only Cabal that's in here, or Cadre that's in here?
I mean, it seems really weird to me that all four of us would have wound up in this place together
around the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I can't imagine there's any other Cabals or Cadres together here.
I know it's painful for you, but could you describe the circumstances of your mental breakdown?
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing exciting. It's like I said before, every day I would come to work and hate it more and more and more to the point where I just stopped doing it. And I stopped doing it for them. I stopped doing it for me. And they couldn't convince me otherwise. And they said, I said, well, just kick me out. And they said, no, we can't let you do that because you have too much knowledge, this expertise. You've seen our military plans. Something's wrong with you. We're going to go take you where you can get fixed. And that's where they sent me here.
Who was your supervisor?
That would have been Professor Denham.
He was the one that interred you here?
I think he must have had something to do with it. I don't have proof of that, but someone had to make that call.
Sounds like his kneecaps broke.
Yeah.
I suggest an attitude readjustment.
That seems very strange for someone to lock up a prodigal student when it's simply a matter of stress in the environment. They could have simply moved you onto a different project instead of working for these war wagons.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest...
Obviously, it got to a point in which...
Yeah, it got to a point where I just wanted to leave the college altogether, but they just... Apparently, they wouldn't let that happen.
Also,
This seems above the warden's paper.
the premise of people being here in the Belfry is that they have a potential to be harmful to themselves or others, but like...
You just wanted to
You
go
just
home.
wanted to leave. You just wanted to go
Yeah,
home. That doesn't...
I mean, not to be fair, I know a lot of things. I know how to build things that could kill thousands of people in one fell swoop.
But you're not.
I know. I'm not going to do that, but they don't know I'm not going to do that. I'm not trying to justify their behavior,
Right.
but that's how they're going to. That's how they're going to pitch it.
It's the circumstances of your imprisonment which is more curious to me than the potentials of your imprisonment. You were locked up because you didn't want to work anymore. Zara was locked up because she didn't want to see the future. Yara was locked up because she was being bullied, at least from my understanding.
I think it's been. I think she was being physically assaulted, to be honest.
By staff and faculty?
I think by students and by perhaps a faculty member too.
What was her professor's name?
Her professor's name was Jardin.
What school did they belong to?
Professor Jardin is conjuration.
That's not how you spell conjuration. Does it start with an O?
Yara is
Yara
also
is a
conjurer?
conjurer, yeah. Alright.
The only one who seems to have had a violent outburst was Lard, but he doesn't even...
Yeah,
He thought that he was performing the spell correctly.
correct. Yeah.
Gaius. As you're watching this conversation unfold.
Completely lost, but
Yeah, I know.
Mhm.
That's why you're observing. And just kind of like watching, especially visually. You're like watching Zephyra, aka Yara. Something very strange about her. Her hair seems to occasionally wisp around as though in the breeze. But there is no breeze in this place. Like you're sealed off. You look around for like another vent, like where some like wind might be coming through or something. And no, you guys are closed off here. You even closed the laundry room door. You know, you're not quite sure how that's happening.
as they're having the chat, I'm just going to kind of get up, stretch my legs, kind of just amble around, and try and get behind her, see if I can feel a breeze, or if it's an illusion, or if it's something moving it, or if it's a mage hand, or.
Yeah. You do that and make an Arcana check for me.
Okay. 10.
Nothing that you can tell. First off, certainly no breeze. You know, it's once again very still air in here, which makes it all the more like strange. But you can't tell if there was a spell. It would seem strange because, as you've been told, no one can cast spells in here.
Is it what kind of action is it to give yourself bardic inspiration?
Generally, you can't give yourself bardic inspiration unless it's a particular, like only maybe there's a subclass of bards that can
Floor
do it.
bards.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Bardic Inspiration counts as magic. It's an ability.
Yeah, that's fair. So, but you just
More
can't
of
give
a
it to yourself.
feeling than anything
Yeah.
else. Yeah.
You
You can't give yourself a warm fuzzy feeling.
I disagree. Okay.
That's where it gets a little fuzzy because some things can be affected by anti-magic, whereas
Yeah.
they shouldn't, and others can when they should.
I would allow this as more of like kind of a supernatural effect. I think,
That's-
but
It's other than self, so it doesn't matter. Okay.
okay. But just something you notice that seems odd, and nobody else quite clocked because it was like very very small movements of breeze. Okay, so do you, I guess, continuing to ask him questions?
Yeah. Princess.
Yes.
You like to assemble patterns on the floors with these buttons and these objects.
Oh, they're my friends more than patterns, I guess. But
You look at them as your friends.
yes.
When you were studying to become a wizard, to become a sorcerer. Did you make these patterns, make these friends as well?
I found most of my friends since I've been here, but I started a little bit here and there before I came to this land. Yes.
Forgive the intrusion. When we went into your room, we noticed a similar pattern that you had laid out. Mm-hmm. Is that just? Are those also your friends?
Yes, those are more friends. That's where they live. I like for them to stay where they live, unless I'm, taking them on a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they need to go there. That's their place.
That's their place. That's their home.
That's their home. Yes.
Okay. Do you have more friends? More friends like those?
No, this is pretty much all my friends. Sometimes I will. I guess I do have. I don't know if I should say I have one more friend, but I don't know if I should tell you about my other friend.
How about this? If I tell you one of my friends, can I hear about your friend?
Okay. She kind of make a persuasion check.
Whoa! 15.
Okay. Yes, I'd like to hear about your friend.
So, are you familiar with the land known as Igris?
I've heard of it. It's far away.
Far away, across the Sea of Tepal, far to the south, where old dragons used to reign over massive pyramids that controlled both time and space. Long since they have gone into their own hiding in their own torpor. But that is where I was born and I was raised. And I had a friend there. She was a very powerful sorceress. She was actually one of the priestesses who worked for the old cults down there. And her job was to maintain the temples. And so every night she would go inside of the temples and she would clean each of the temple's rooms. And inside of these temples there are small orbs, like crystals made of starlight, that hide in orbit in these rooms. And every night she would look into them and she would be able to see the future and the past. And she would tell me what she saw. Some things came to pass, others didn't.
Your friend sounds a lot like my friend Zara.
They're very similar.
Zara is so wonderful, but she's so sad.
I've met her. She has a lot on her plate.
All right, I'll tell you about my friend. Come with me and I'll show you him.
Okay.
And she stands up very gracefully from her little sitting position. She crawls out of the vent back into the laundry room. And there's one particular robe that looks really tattered, like it had just been thrown into a corner in the laundry room. She reaches into its pocket, and it's this little chisel. And she says, "This is my friend. He helps me see a little better outside." And if you recall, she had been chiseling at the window to make it a little wider, so she gets a little better view out of her little slit that she has as this little window.
That's nice. Where did you find that friend?
Oh, he's my best friend. I found him. There was in this little secret area, our little secret land. There were some tools in here. That's how Snark was able to make his friend, the one that he gave to you, Sir Scrimp. And then we found this little chisel, and he gave this friend to me. And his name is Sir Brakel.
Sir Brakel.
Yes.
That's very nice. Do you remember your sister?
Yulia? I love her. But she also gets a little sad look on her face when you bring her up. I love her, but I don't see her as much as my new friends anymore.
Well, Yulia has... the reason we're here is because Yulia has sent us to check up on you.
She has?
She has.
You think she still loves me?
She loves you with more than her heart can muster. And she was concerned about you and these disappearances that keep happening. These blackouts and then waking up outside the tower. She was concerned and afraid. She thinks that the tower is doing harm to you.
No, the tower's not doing harm to me. The tower's just a tower.
Is there someone doing harm to you?
I think so, but it's not hurt. I don't wake up hurt. I just stop remembering things, and then suddenly I'm back where I used to love that place where I wake up every day. But it also reminds me about the bad people. She starts to like sniffle and get a little teary-eyed when she says that. The bad wizards.
Was your professor one of these bad wizards?
I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Of course.
She kind of gets like just real quiet.
I'm sorry. But I promise you this. I might be able to get your sister to come and visit you. If
Really?
you would like that.
I would like that, yes.
Okay. I have to go now. But thank you so very much for your help.
Snark says, yeah, Princess Zephyr, we should probably head back to our bedrooms, because we don't want the evil wizards to know we're in here. We don't want them to discover our secret land, right? And she goes, yes, of course, that makes sense. And so you guys all kind of climb out of the secret area. Snark quickly like zips it back up together with his little screwdriver tool, and then you guys head out of the laundry room.
Wait for them to get their cells. It looks like you're going to get some practice in.
So they're all left, just the four of us.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going on? I've been here for about an hour and a half today. Clearly you have some idea of what's going on beyond what I understand.
We were hired by Iara's sister.
The princess.
The princess, yes.
All right.
In order to check up on her because of these disappearances, these magical disappearances. A group of four, Snark, Iara, Zara, and Lorne, who the other two you haven't met, have been magically disappearing. We believe to be magical every night.
So it's not just. So it's not different people disappearing every night. It's just those four.
Just those four. Their sister was concerned about this and wanted us to go and check up on them because they believe that the belfry is giving improper care. Our investigation has us leading to believe that there is something more nefarious at play than just simple disappearances. Which can range from anything from simple mismanagement to willful negligence of the well-being of the students and focused attacks on said students.
So the two of them, your brother and the princess, didn't want to make weapons anymore.
A very common imprisonment within the belfry, as we've seen, is wizards who have potential, great potential, but have moments, episodes of mental breakdown or mishaps are commonly imprisoned here. There's one of the four, Lorne.
Yeah, we're all fucking crazy in here.
Good to know.
Luca, thank you. Luca was an evocation wizard, and while he was making a ritual circle, it detonated and it killed his family, and he was imprisoned here. But not all of them are violent. Some just want to be here.
Yeah, I misunderstood.
Clearly.
And we believe that there is something bigger at play than just wizards who are unable to control their power, or who are going insane, or
It's wizards who don't want to do any more to contribute to the war.
I mean, you
That's what it sounds like. This sounds like they're just making weapons.
I'm actually going to take a step away from the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And attempt to have a quiet moment with my deity.
Okay. Now, is there a mechanical rule in this, or you're
No,
just, we're just gonna roleplay this?
Yeah.
Okay, let's treat this kind of like when a cleric would try to like commune, right? And while that would normally be a spell, in this case, I think for you, it's more holy. You know what I mean? It's less of a spell and more just like a connection you have with your deity.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna allow it. She's been quiet heretofore since you got into this.
I've kept talking to her. So she sent me here. The reason
Right.
I came, like they locked me up.
Yep.
But I'm here for a reason because
Yep.
I believe that I should be here to stop bad things happening. Been very vague on the details of the bad thing, but kind of trying to get some insight into what I'm supposed to be doing here.
Yeah. So I would say that we're going to treat this. You're going to get 3 questions. You can ask your deity. That'll be kind of like yes or no questions.
First,
Yep.
arson.
Oh my god. Tell me a little bit more about your deity. Are they? What's their portfolio? What's their purpose?
So, Ilsadun is she's a forgotten deity of the past. She's got a light and justice and revealing of secrets.
Okay.
So she's definitely originally a deity of paladins.
Yeah.
No idea how she ended up with like her voice being screaming at basically nothing for hundreds of years. I was the one who answered.
Right.
Or like can talk to me and me alone.
Yeah.
So yeah, so she's attempting to turn me into a paladin.
Yes. Okay.
And yeah, we're both
So-
equally frustrated by this process.
Yeah. So when you ask arson, you finally, for the first time since you got in here, you see what usually happens when you try to speak to her is you hear either you both hear and see at the same time, kind of these little illusions that appear only to you. If it's like a yes answer, it'll just be one bright light that kind of like shines and like a little, then this little zoom, like here in your head. When it's a no answer, it'll be 2 zoom, zoom, like that. And when it's something that she just doesn't want to answer, you might get some kind of like sort of like just a. You might get even a chuckle from her or something like that, like a like she's used to your contrary ways, basically. Yeah, exactly.
Shenanigans.
But so when
This
you say
god sounds like a dick.
so when you say arson, first you get the but then you get zoom, zoom, for no.
At least I didn't get a metaphysical slap upside the head.
Yeah, no.
Are the wizards the enemy?
Zoom. Zoom. And the second was so lagged. Make an insight check for me.
Hot damn, nat 20.
20. You've had this occur before occasionally when there's one light followed by a delayed second light. It means yes, but.
Is it select? Or are there just a few wizards against us? Fire is not the answer. I'll come back.
That's a lot coming
But
from
an
you,
option.
actually.
You're the only one who
Growth.
sees this, by the way, and I'll let you do it like once per long rest.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
What time is it?
In the day, you guys have been here since about basically like right before noon, and you guys have been investigating for quite a few hours now, I think. So I think it's probably getting on like 4 p.m. or so.
Well, I think we can pay a professor a visit.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we cut there for this evening, and we will resume with that particular visit the next time we play here on the Dragon's Concord. Thank you.